Hello and welcome to a new series. I've been having a lot of fun building on Twitch and stuff, but I always feel like I can't really show those worlds on YouTube because it's just, there's been too much going on, and I don't want my videos to just be stream highlights and in-character stuff, because then I don't really get to hang out with you guys and tell you about what's going on in my life. So I wanted to start just like a chill little hanging out, vibing and survival series where we can talk about stuff. We can chill, we can talk about upcoming projects. As I'm recording this, the Minecraft Live mob vote is happening, and I'm super excited because this is the first time I've ever been able to vote in a mob vote. The vote went live and will cease to be live because it goes for 24 hours at 1 a.m. my time. Now that I have a job, I have to leave my house at 7 a.m. so I have to, be awake before then, and I cannot stay up until 1 a.m. Ooh, lush cave. Seemingly reasonably large lush cave. That's nice. That's very nice. I kind of want to see if we can find some exposed stone. I've got some basic mods and data packs and stuff, but just the vanilla stuff that I typically play with. I've got free cam and stuff. Makes videos cool. Hi, how you doing? And yeah, we're just vibing. We're just hanging out. I wanted a world where I don't have to worry about losing things due to servers being shut down. Kind of wanted just a single player survival that I build up on camera. And hey, you might not get to see everything. I'll do off-camera stuff. Village, vlog. There's a village. I really like this spawn, honestly. I tend to spawn in spruce biomes. It's a thing about me. I spawn in spruce. My dad spawns in deserts. Has anyone found that? Is that a thing? Does anyone just casually spawn in the same biome when you randomize a seed? Because my dad can always find deserts, and I always struggle to find deserts unless my dad's there. I mentioned that I had a sort of real world job now, which is super funky. I'm really enjoying that thing. I am working with children, and honestly, I think I'm going to just ramble, just tell you a bit about that, and I might cut up the visuals so that you don't have to see me grinding slowly. One of my Twitch chat's favorite things to do at the moment is to make me tell them stories from work. I work at a early years education facility. So the age group I work with is almost 2-year-old, which is a really interesting age to work with. I honestly don't know how old they were when I first met them, but when I first started working in the room, none of the children could speak any English yet. They hadn't learned it. And then Mother's Day passed, and some of the kids came back over the weekend being able to say the word mommy, and it was so cute. It was so cute. Just undeniably so. But they are now so vocal and so communicative. I think it's been amazing because I was able to communicate with these kids before they knew any words. They had the basics of yes, no, and ta, meaning either please or can I have that. Those were the only 3 words that they needed to know. Who needs to know any more words than that? That is the only thing you could possibly need to be able to say. They didn't care about saying more than that. But some of these kids were so expressive that I could have full-on conversations with them. And that might sound a little weird, but I'm gonna tell you just a handful of my favorite things that these kids have said and done. I'm just gonna share my highlights of work stories with you. So in no particular order, over the course of these children learning language, I'm just gonna talk about a handful of my favorite stories, things that really stand out to me at the end of the day. And I think all of the topics today are about language and communication, but there are certainly a handful of stories I have that aren't fully about that. And honestly, it might just be a staple of these videos that I tell a story about the kids, just to share some of my joy of working in childcare with you. So anyway, the first story is, without any language, one of my kids, I refer to them as my kids, the kids of the class, I'm very emotionally attached. One of my kids communicated to me that they really, really wanted to go to bed. It's part of their routine that right after lunch, they get some sleep. With kids that young, it's like really important for them to get sleep in the middle of the day. But this child had been thrown off earlier in the day, and they had fallen asleep in my arms after essentially having a meltdown because the routine changed, and they were exhausted from all of that emotional spending. They had a nap in the morning and they woke up freaked out, and I explained to them where in the day they were because they had no way of knowing whether or not lunch had already happened, whether or not a group had already gone off to explore in the studio, which is the art room, where children learn about science and colors and get to hands-on explore how the world works. This kid had no way of knowing because they fell asleep out of routine and they were very distressed about it. So I explained to them when they woke up where in the routine they were. But they were clearly concerned that because they had slept in the morning, they would not sleep in the usual place. Probably weren't very tired, but it was important to them, especially because they had been upset because their routine was interrupted. It was important to the child that their routine stay the way that they know it. So after finishing with their food and being let down out of like the high chairs, because at this stage we still had high chairs in our room, this child walked over to the cupboard that their bag is kept in, got out their own bag, tried to unzip it. They couldn't actually find the right zip at first. Like they found the little headphone pocket. I don't even know why a bag that small had a headphone pocket, guys. Like it is a tiny toddler-sized bag, and it's got like the sort of pocket that you put your headphones and like maybe some spare cash in. They found that, and with their very limited vocabulary, they look up at me and say, "Uh-oh," which is what they say when they have encountered a problem. You know, you drop something on the floor, uh-oh. This kid says, uh-oh, and brings the bag over to me, which is so ridiculously cute. And I'd seen what was coming. A lot of the time when kids go to their bags and get something out of it, what they're getting out is like a plush toy from home. I will just use baby as a placeholder for their names. But like, what's up, baby? And they show me the little small pocket that they found and repeat, uh-oh, because they can't find their clothes, they can't find their items, the bag, it's broken, it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, uh-oh. And I explained to them, oh, it's okay, you just found the small pocket. And I showed them how to find the larger pocket to open. I open it a tiny little bit, just enough to show them that their clothes are in there. And then I close it again and give it back to them because I am not solving their problem. I am teaching them, showing them examples of how to solve their own problems. So this kid takes their bag back from me, opens up the pocket that has all of their belongings in it, gets out their stuffed toy, and for a second I'm like, am I wrong about what they're doing? Were they just going to get their toy? And they look at their toy, and they hand their toy to me, and they go back to rooting through their bag, and they pull out their sleep suit, which is essentially a giant pocket with arms that the child gets zipped into so that they can't walk. It is a portable blanket that you can trap around you. That means that the child cannot, roll away. It keeps them warm, and it means that there's not blankets to get tangled with, so it's like one of the safest ways you can keep your kid warm while they're sleeping. So they get out their sleep suit and they start putting it on. They get it on both arms, and then they get lost and they can't figure out the next step. They can put it around their arms, but they can't zip it up. They can't quite get it on their feet. So they come to me to solve their problem. And I love that they, even that early on, knew that that's something they could do. That really makes me happy. Anyway, I explained to them that I have to stay in this room with all of the other children who are not yet sleeping, and that one of the other educators was actually getting children to bed that day. So I explained to them that I would pass along the message to the other educator that they wanted to go to sleep, and I would make sure, even if they couldn't sleep, they did lie down. They did get put to bed. And the child was a little bit dubious, but like nodded when I asked if they could see the other educator helping children get ready for bed. They almost pressed the matter with me, but then the other educator walked into the room where I could talk to them, and I verbally passed the message along to this other educator. I was like, this child would like to go to bed. They have requested to go to bed. The educator was like, they requested? Like, yes, they got all of their sleep stuff out of their bag and started doing their best to get ready, which was the first time in a long line of this child getting ready for bed, mostly without us. Such an independent kid, honestly. They're incredible. And the educator was a little confused, like, they slept earlier this morning. I said, yes, but this is part of their routine and it's important to them, so I am passing along the child's message. They would like to go to bed, please. The other educator is like, okay, sure, but we're going to get the children who are actively falling asleep to bed first. And I said that was perfectly reasonable and turned to the child to make sure that they understood and agreed that that was perfectly reasonable. And the child was like, yes, okay, and took their sleep bag off and folded it up and put it on their bag and put their stuffed toy, took it from me, put it on their bag, and then sat by their bag, just waiting for the educator to be ready to get them to bed. They grabbed a book, a picture book, and flipped through. This sounds like such a fake story when I say it like that, but honestly, that's just how kids are. So that's one of my favorite stories. I also really love the story of one of our more vocal kids learning about caterpillars for the first time. Caterpillar season started. It's a thing in Australia that there's a time of year where fuzzy caterpillars are just everywhere. So this kid was learning about caterpillars. They pointed at the creature to me, and I said, oh, you found a caterpillar. And they repeated, pilla. I said, yes, it's a caterpillar. Pilla. So we're exploring the caterpillar for a little bit from a distance, not touching it. I'm making sure that they don't touch it, they don't, squish it, hurt it, anything. We're having this little curiosity moment of caterpillar, and I'm trying to remember as many, words of the very hungry caterpillar as I can, because that might give this child a bit of context as to what a caterpillar actually is. If I can say, it's like in that story, that's a lot more useful to them. So, 20 minutes later, I'm across the garden, and this kid calls out to me to get my attention. They don't know my name yet, so they just look over at me until they know I am looking back at them, and they call out, and they say, Pilla, in this teary voice. And I'm like, oh, baby, what's up? Do you need my help? And they repeat, Pilla. And I'm like, okay, is there a caterpillar? And they nod, and they point into the little green tunnel and just teary. The world, it's so difficult. They're so small. And there's a caterpillar where it shouldn't be. And I go over to see what their problem is and if I can help, how I can help. So I go next to them and I crouch down next to them and I ask, is there a caterpillar? And they nod and they point into the tunnel where, sure enough, a caterpillar is rolling down the middle of it. And they say, Pilla, just clinging to my arm like they are scared and I will keep them safe. And I'm frankly quite impressed with their ability to communicate, but I also don't entirely understand why the caterpillar is a scary thing when previously we were totally fine with the caterpillar. It was not scary 10 minutes ago. It's scary now. The only reason I can think of is that it is not in the space that it should be. It is in the space where the child should be. So I asked the child if they would like me to move the caterpillar so that it is elsewhere. And they don't know what to do with this. They don't have enough language for that. So I try again and I ask if they want me to fix it. And they cling to my arm, pull me almost down into the tunnel. I'm crouching, but not super well balanced, so they almost pull me off balance. And they point at the caterpillar and they say, fix it! And for approximately 2 weeks after that, Pilla, fix it was common language in my house. We've also had quotes from the kids that just become common vernacular in my house because they made enough of an impression on me that I went home and told my mom, and they made enough of an impression on her that she quotes them all the time. We have Shae, hat, from the first time one of the kids in the room ever said my name or, my nickname to get my attention. I was standing right next to them, but not paying enough attention to know that them looking up at the hat rack meant that they wanted their hat. So they said my name, and I whip around because it's the first time any of the kids in the room have said my name. And I'm like, yes, that's me, yes, what? Mm-hmm. And they just point up at their hat. And I ask if they would like their hat, and they say mine. So I got them their hat, obviously. More recently, we have 2 beetles. One of the kids found a beetle. Actually found 2 beetles, and so we're doing this another 20-minute little investigation into the animals. They're so interested in exploring these beetles that it's a hot day, they don't want to leave to get water. I do eventually convince them to go and get some water from the educator, handing out their water bottle by telling them that I will keep an eye on the beetle so that they will not lose it. They will know where the beetle is. But yeah, we found 2 beetles, so they very insistently said 2 beetle. For a while, even when we found more beetles, I was like, oh, there's 3 beetles. 1, 2, 3 beetles. 2 beetles. There were definitely at one point 4 beetles, but 2 beetles. So that was a fun thing. More recently, we have from the same vocal child who likes putting things in their mouth, the 2 quotes of, baby, what are you doing? Eating sand. Why are you eating sand? Yeah. And this kid just walks up to me and makes eye contact, so not really thinking anything of it. I'm like, hey baby, what's up? And they say, a rock. And I pause, because I hadn't expected that answer. Pause, and I say, do you have a rock in your mouth? And they nod and say, yeah. And I say, please give me the rock that is in your mouth. And they try to spit something out onto my hand, but no rock comes. I'm like, honey, is there a rock in your mouth? Yeah. What's in your mouth? A rock. Please give me the rock that is in your mouth. And they fish around in their mouth with their hands for a little bit and pull out a tiny, tiny, tiny rock. I love them so much. But also my family will not put down a rock and eating sand. Those are the quotes of the week. Love my kids. I love working in this class. It is incredible. It's fantastic. It's just my top stories. I've told them before, but I wanted to be able to share them on my YouTube channel. For all you people who have been wondering, hey, Shaeolaura hasn't posted in a while. Where have they gone? What are they up to? I'm amassing an army of 2-year-olds. I like the thought of just being able to vibe in a Minecraft world and ramble about stuff. And I don't know how I'm going to cut this together at all, but we will figure it out. I want to build this world up into a bunch of things. I want different styles, different cities, different interconnected things. I'm really inspired by a bunch of cool building YouTubers who I watch a lot, and I know that stylistically, their style of videos is far more advanced than mine and is something that works for the amount of time and effort that they have to put into videos, and probably works for their brain better than it would work for my brain. Tried to do it before and it doesn't really work for me. I'm just sitting here playing Minecraft and rambling, and it's not something that can be as easily cut up as the styles that have inspired me to do this series. But I have motivation to record this, to edit this, to do this as a series. And I've had people tell me that they would watch it. I want to be able to connect with you guys more. Really love to be able to do more videos. Honestly, that might be it. That might just be the goal. That might be all there is to it. I want to be able to do more videos. And since I got a day job, I feel like I haven't really been able to. I've been busy. I've been doing good stuff. I've been doing stuff that I'm really proud of and feels genuine and important to me. But it was really important to me that I not sacrifice on Minecraft to do that. So yeah, I feel a lot of guilt, even though I don't want to, and my lovely community members in my Discord keep telling me that it's alright and I can take as much time as I need. I feel a lot of guilt for not putting out as many videos as I wanted, especially since the last thing I said in a video was I'm planning to upload every week. And then I disappeared off of the face of the internet for a while. So I have a number of videos in the works. And maybe by the time you guys see this, a bunch of those videos will be out. Who knows? Got a number of videos in the works. I've got videos that are in character where I can't talk to you about my life. Videos that are highlights and are often just not only are often funny moments that don't actually mean anything, don't actually have any importance, but that are old, outdated. So I wanted to do something with you. I wanted something that was connection, something that was YouTube only, stress-free, just playing Minecraft and talking, not having to worry about anything, and that kept you up to date on it. So I'm hoping this will be a series. I'm hoping it will be a something. I'm really kind of looking forward to it. I would love if you guys could leave me a comment on this video. Should maybe stop talking because I have been talking for 42 minutes. And I know that that will be edited down a little bit, but if I keep rambling, I'm going to struggle to edit this into something. And I really don't know what's going to happen just yet, but I'm excited. Honestly, I'm really excited about the possibilities, about this world that I am planning on making and sharing with you guys. And I would love you left me questions in comments. I really, what I want to do is I really want to connect with my YouTube audience. So I don't care if they're questions about my life, about childcare, about this world, about End Inchling, maybe. I would love to talk, to connect. I'd love to hear from you, to hear what you guys are interested in hearing, what you guys are interested in learning. I would love to share with you information. If you leave questions in the comments, I will hopefully answer those in the next installment of this. Please, if this is a thing that you are interested in me continuing, please tell me, because I really think I will. I'd really like to. But like, I don't know for sure. I don't know what I'm doing. Please let me know. I'd love to hear from you.